Pisces. Oh, Pisces. Let's see. You got a couple. I'm going to take the top. Ace of Pentacles. All right. So new opportunities, new beginnings. The Ace of Pentacles I love because this, generally when I see the Ace of Pentacles, I'm going to be completely honest, it's more geared towards finances, career, etc. But the Ace of Pentacles is just new beginnings in a lot of aspects. So it could be new beginnings in love for you. However, what's interesting is I almost feel like this is new beginnings with this person at some point in the month. I feel like you're almost having new beginnings. Does that make sense? Like you're starting to work out or starting to eat right or starting to get more sleep or starting to venture out more, etc. The Ace of Pentacles is telling me that there's a lot of firsts this month for you, but I also feel like there might be first for you and this other person. Like maybe you're going to connect for the first time in a while. Maybe you guys are going to come together on like a clean slate because again, this is opportunity, but this is also, you know, a beginning of something. It could be a new beginning with somebody else though as well. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month. And you have the Chariot, which is Cancer's card. So you could be dealing with a Cancer or have Cancer placements in your chart. The Chariot card is, look, it's two people who, if they're going on the same path, then the Chariot moves forward. If they're not, then it doesn't. And so I feel like you're kind of looking at this situation, Pisces, and going, what happened here? At one point, we were both moving the same direction. The Chariot was moving, and then it stopped, and things got thrown off. They started going this way, I started going this way, and maybe not even that. Maybe you just started not getting along, or you started fighting more, or you guys have different ideas of what a relationship is, or what it should look like, or what it should be. And the Chariot is very much saying, like, if you want to get back on track, there's a serious conversation that needs to be had. There needs to be, and that's why I kind of feel like the Ace of Pentacles may be a new beginning in that path, just in the fact you've been off of this path with this person for so long that you don't know how to get back on it. But it feels like if you had a conversation and you were truly honest, because I feel like either you or them was constantly agreeing to something or constantly saying, hey, yes, this will make it better, or, you know, we can completely come together and make this happen. And this is what I want, and this is what I want. But you had different expectations. So like maybe you wanted to move in together. Maybe you wanted to get married. But their idea of like getting married was 10 years down the road. And your idea of getting married was like in a year. Or maybe their idea of getting married was, well, we'll still hang out and still be together and whatnot. It feels like you guys had different ideas of the relationship, and yet you both want to be together. And I feel like you still do want to be on the same path. You just don't know how to get there. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month. And you have Judgment. So this makes sense. This is looking back. This is meditating. This is saying, where do we go wrong? What happened? How do we get so off kilter? How do we get off of this path? How do we become a couple when we both identify as singles? Does that make sense? I feel like a lot of you were like, yeah, I'm in a relationship, but you weren't actually doing what you needed to do to be in a relationship. Like you did your own thing and then expected them to be okay with it. Or you decided that, you know, hey, I'm gonna go and talk to, you know, XYZ, it's just a friend, it's just a girl, or it's just a guy, it's just a friend. And it's like, that's not what you do in a relationship. I don't think there was anything malicious behind it. I don't think the intent was cheating or doing something. It's more like you guys were acting as me instead of we. And how do you get into that we where you understand how to build a healthy relationship? The next card, it's like you were living separate lives or not together, but you were together because you loved each other and you were doing things as a couple, like going out. But then when it came down to actually being a we, you weren't a we. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years throughout your childhood, this is the Ace of Cups. I feel like this person, or it could be different people, is somebody that you really saw yourself having this new life with, having this beginning with. This person wasn't just a fling for you. It wasn't just sex. It wasn't just a dating. This person was something real. And this is what you've wanted for a long, long time. The Ace of Cups is coming in from your distant past as the universe saying, you could still have this with this person possibly. And I know there are people out there who are going to be like, oh, no, Dark Dove, that's bullshit. I'll never talk to this person again. Well, then watch the singles read, because if you're watching this, you're watching for a reason. Just saying. So again, the Ace of Cups is definitely saying you could have this with this person. It's interesting too, because you have two aces, which are beginnings, new beginnings, excitement, building a friendship. Maybe you guys need to come together as friends. Maybe you guys, but I feel like a serious conversation needs to be had in order for you guys to really figure out what it is you want, what they want, and what the expectations are. Because I don't think that you didn't want to get married or they didn't want to get married, or you didn't want to have fur babies or they didn't want to have fur babies. I feel like you guys just didn't know how to do it together. The next card you have is your immediate past. So over the past few weeks, past month or so, and that makes sense. You have the Six of Cups, which is reminiscing. This is looking back. This is, oh, I remember when, and it may have been a year or two since you were happy. It may have been a while since you could actually say, when was the last time we got along without fighting for more than a week? Or when's the last time? But again, I think that's mainly because you guys were not coming together as a we. And I keep saying that because I see two people who cared about each other. I see two people who loved each other, but I see two people who were like, well, I'm still doing my own thing, but I'm in a relationship. Or I still, like, it's like you didn't know, or they didn't know how to be in a relationship. And that's super important, because otherwise it's just like two people who are friends who hang out and maybe have sex. So again, the Six of Cups tells me that you've been thinking about this person a lot. They're probably thinking about you. But at the same time, you know, how do you go from there? I feel like some bridges have been burned and you're not quite sure how to get back to a common ground. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the High Priestess. This is letting the universe kind of take the wheel. This is saying, okay, because this is a religious aspect. This is spiritual. This is definitely saying, okay, you know, I feel like I've done what I can. I feel like I did my best in this. They feel like they did their best. I'm not sure how to get back onto this path. I'm not sure how to get back here. I'm not sure how we can come together. I'm not sure, etc. I could go on and on and on. The High Priestess is saying, look, when in time, things will happen like they're supposed to happen. And if you're not supposed to come together, then you will find somebody else. Then there will be the opportunity for somebody else to come along. I think the hard part, Pisces, is that you thought this person really was, this was the person. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks, and I'm telling you what, I said it, the last 10 signs, you can watch all of them. She has shown up in every single read. Every read. I think maybe one has not gotten the Queen of Pentacles. And I don't apply sex to the card, so he or she, but she's shown up here, she's shown up here, she's shown up like everywhere. The Queen of Pentacles is about being attentive with somebody and reciprocating that energy. Pisces, I feel like you want to have kids with somebody, or you want to be nurtured by this person, or you want them to nurture, or you want to nurture them, etc. But I feel like this next month, you're going to need to, if you guys communicate, because I feel like there is going to be some sort of communication, but it really needs to be like raw. It needs to be, this is an expectation of me if we're in a relationship, and this is what I expect, and how do you feel about that, and what do you expect, and what can you give, and what can I give? Because the Queen of Pentacles, again, is a nurturing energy. This is a generous energy. And so I feel like Pisces, if they contact you or you contact them, there will be a generosity here. There will be a caring about each other. The issue is, how do you form that into a we? It can't be one-sided. And I feel like there's narcissistic tendencies, and maybe possibly on both sides, where you feel like it should be one way and they should be acting a certain way, and they feel like you should be acting a certain way. So I feel like you guys have this expectation, and then you don't verbalize it, or you expect the other person to know exactly what it is you want, or what you feel, or what you need, and vice versa. The next card you have is anything tangible that's going to happen throughout the month. Could be the beginning, middle, end. And you have death here. And I love death. Death is not a physical death. This is also Scorpio's card, so you could be dealing with Scorpio. You definitely have water energy here, because you have water energy here, and then you have Cancer and Scorpio, and missing Pisces. So Scorpio, or death, is about a rebirth, okay? It's about a transformation. And I feel like if you guys do come together, it's going to have to be rebirth. It's going to have to be, we will not rehash the past. Whatever, whoever did what to who, whoever cheated, whoever lied, whoever I started dating, whoever you started dating, whatever, all that's going to have to be put in the past. Because again, this is a rebirth, but it's a transformation along with it. So it has to be a transformed relationship, or a transformed beginning, or a transformed we, if you guys are going to be successful in coming together. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month, how you're feeling throughout the month. And you have the Fool card here, which is a new cycle. It's a new beginning. It's the beginning of the major arcana. You have a lot of beginnings here. Now, it could be with this person. It could be with somebody different. But Pisces, I feel like this person is still somebody dwelling on your heart pretty heavy because of this Ace of Cups and because you're reminiscing. So I feel like the Fool is you saying, I want this new beginning with this person, but it has to be 100% new beginning. It can't be trust issues. It can't be whatever. But to be fair, if there are trust issues there, a lot of people don't realize that takes time, and that takes somebody making a surmountable amount of effort to make another person feel secure in a relationship. You can't just come back and say, hey, I love you, I care about you, and expect that person to believe you and take what you say as face value. It takes time. You have to do the things as a we. You have to say, hey, honey, I'm going here. This is what my plan is. Or you need to, be open with communication. I know a lot of people who, have passwords on everything and hide things, and whether or not they're hiding something or whether or not you're hiding something, the issue at stake is making somebody feel secure in a relationship. And if you can't do that, or if they can't ever feel secure with you, then it's not going to work, period. Or vice versa, if you can't ever feel secure with them. Now, the Fool here is saying you want a new beginning, or they want a new beginning. And again, you may be like, bullshit, I don't want a new beginning. Well, then, this isn't your read. It's a general read. But I feel like all you want is a fresh start. And maybe not with them. Maybe you don't want a fresh start with them at all. Or maybe they don't want a fresh start with you. But I don't believe that, because I feel like there's such energy here showing that they're still heavily on your mind. Like you thought they were the person you were going to grow with. The next card you have is your hopes and fears for the outcome. Well, your hope is that the King of Wands is that you guys are still drawn to each other, that there's still a magnetism there. The King of Wands represents somebody of moral high value. So I feel like maybe you're hoping that they come to you and they can prove that, like, they have something to offer, and that this isn't just a game to them, and that they appreciate your heart, and that they will help find ways to make you feel secure in the relationship if that's an issue, or the arguing or the fighting or whatever's been going on. I feel like Pisces, this person is going to be coming towards you with like a magnanimous, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready for this to happen, or you're going to be going towards them with this. But I feel like this is definitely an energy of, we can do this. Like, this is like, what are we doing? This is silly. We've been fighting. This is ridiculous. We can do this. There's a lot of like heavy, powerful connection energy here. The next card you have is your outcome, which is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is, you don't want 20 other cups. You just want that one cup. However, it's also slow moving and stagnant. So either you need to make the move, they need to make the move, or both. Because if somebody doesn't make a move here, it just stands still, and it's dissatisfying. So if there's no action taken on your part or their part, then it's just going to stand still. Eventually it'll fizzle out, and you guys will find somebody new. You guys will find a new beginning with somebody else. But whenever I see the Eight of Cups, I also look at it as though you're not wanting to be out there looking for 20 other cups. You don't want them looking for 20 other cups. You want them to be your cup, and they want you to be their cup. But how do you get there? How do you get there? Well, with some faith, with some belief in, sorry, cards are falling on the floor, with some belief and some faith that the universe has your back, and that if this is your twin flame, or this is a higher power at play, or this is somebody you're supposed to be with, that you will come together and it will happen. Sorry, these cards are okay. Now, your clarifying card for the outcome is the Six of Wands, which is victory. So I think somebody will come. Either you will conversate with them, or they will conversate with you. Sorry, again, these cards are flying out all over the place. So it's victory, it's pride, it's achievement, it's feeling successful. So I feel like whether you meet somebody new or whether you and this other person reconcile, I feel like there will be success. And I feel like it's victory. Like, you're going to be like, finally, we're finally there. We can finally come together on an even keel. Now you have the Sun here. And the Sun is your clarifying card for the distant future. The Sun is solutions. It's about gray clouds lifting and about seeing things clearly. So I feel like for once they see clearly what actions need to be taken to make you happier, to make you feel fulfilled, and vice versa. I feel like you're both going to be in this wavelength where you're like, okay, we see the solutions. We can see what happened. I mean, maybe it's put a ring on it. Like, if you've been promising, if they've been promising you marriage, or you've been promising them marriage, or whatever the case may be, like, start moving in that direction. I feel like part of your problem, Pisces, with this person is they're stagnant. They're not, you guys don't move in that direction. And so these fights happen, or breakups happen, or lies, or whatever it is happens. But I feel like if you don't start moving in the direction you guys have been talking about for months, years, whatever it is, that you're never going to get there. It's going to be stagnant, and then you won't have the solution. Because I feel like you guys talk, but then you never actually ride the chariot together. And I feel like it's time. All right, the next 2 or 3 cards I pull, depending on how many pop out, are going to be for this other person solely, okay, Pisces? So this is going to be just for the other person, how they're feeling, how they're behaving, etc. The first card you have for them is the Page of Wands. Okay, so the Page of Wands, very interesting, is spark communication. So they're thinking about you and you're thinking about them. And then you have the Knight of Swords. All right, so the Page of Wands tells me you guys are thinking about each other big time, because this is a spark, a curiosity. This is somebody thinking, you know, hey, I wonder what he or she is up to. So this person is thinking about you, Pisces, and you're thinking about them. Point blank, you're on their mind, they're on your mind, etc. It's learning about, learning to control and make sense of, you know, some sort of the situation. So they're thinking about you, wanting to know, how can we come together? How can we make this happen? And I feel like Pisces, it's very reciprocated. You're thinking the same thing. You're kind of like, how do we come together? How do we, you know, make this happen without the fighting and whatnot? Because it's like the last deal. Like if you don't get it together and you guys don't figure it out now, then I feel like you never will. Or you're going to get tired of it. They're going to get tired of it. And you're just going to decide between the two of you, you know, or you'll just go your separate ways and never talk about it. The Knight of Swords, though, represents somebody rushing in with planning. Somebody who has figured out what's needed. Somebody who sees the solutions, a clear-sighted. So Pisces, either they're going to come to you and say, look, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I thought we were doing. You know, how does this feel to you? Or you're going to be doing this to them. Because I feel, excuse me, that it's very 50-50 here, Pisces, this month. I feel like you're thinking about them, they're thinking about you. They're debating on, do I want a new beginning with this person? Do they want a new beginning with me? Or do I want to move on to somebody else? But I feel like you both have this energy of love. However, they're really starting to think about solutions here, Pisces. So if they reach out to you, they may be able to shed some light on, hey, how can we fix this? How can we make this work? Or if you reach out to them, they may tell you, like, this is what I feel. I care about you and I love you, but this is what I need. And this is, so very 50-50 here, Pisces. But I do feel like if you guys do come together, there is a possible solution here. There is a way to make it happen. But I feel like you guys are sitting still, expecting things to happen without action. So somebody needs to take some action at some point, and really help figure out the balance and maintain what you guys are doing and what's going on. So, all right, Pisces, I'll see you soon. Bye.